Oh, yeah, we've been talking about you. You sure you want me on?
I wouldn't expect
It's your last chance to say I'm out.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah. Walk away, Johnny. Walk away.
Can we double check his micro?
Okay, let's double
Testing
check.
1, 2,
Okay,
3.
perfect. He was fine.
Okay, double check yours real quick.
Check.
All right, cool. So are you good on the little thing?
I never double check anything. I just start.
You just go. We have had
No, but you guys are doing it right. But yeah.
we have had people call in like, "Hey, I can't hear you on the radio" or something. Back in the past.
Oh, on
Or
my
people,
show?
Yeah, on your show, like people would text like,
I don't care.
the show must go on.
Yeah, I'm talking. But sometimes an antenna offsite, that's what's happened in the past. We've had antenna go down. It's rare, but it can go down.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know in studio.
No, yeah.
But the thing is, the studio, it's always there. It's not like you're setting it up. You have to double check you got it set up. That's all.
Yeah, so we should be good to go. All right, so you're recording too? The cameras are good? All right, cool.
Welcome to Are We Where Yet with Johnny Awesome and Tori Black.
All right, welcome everybody to episode 9 of the Are We Where Yet podcast. I'm your host, Johnny, and we got Tori here.
What's up, guys? I'm back.
She's back. She's been working out too. She's all strong and got a cut off Star Wars t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars.
Showing off her muscles and her fangirl side.
Woo.
So anyway, first of all, I want to thank our partners, the Studio Y. If you say that you listen to our podcast, you get 25% off your membership or a class. You could take a yoga class. I think they got yoga and beer now. It's something they're doing with the Pint House.
Beer?
Yeah, I don't know if you get 25% off the beer, but you get 25% off something.
Like at the yoga?
I think they do it
class?
at the Pint House.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like drinking beer and doing yoga.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because they've done the cat thing, right?
Oh, yeah, you could do yoga with cats.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I have yet to do it. I do have cats, and I have tried yoga, so I might try it. But so that's one of our partners, and then we also got the North End Coffee House, 10% off a drink or a free cookie. So I got that out of the way. On the other side of the mic here, we got Russ Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning, Russ. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well. Got my boy in town.
You do? You brought backup?
A security.
Security.
So is he just visiting?
Well, he's getting ready to go overseas, so this is he's got some little time off, wanted to come down and visit before we don't see him for a while. Yeah, so he's traveling.
Where's he going overseas?
Oh, Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. That
Can't spell it, but I know where it's at.
Yeah, it sounds like Middle East.
Correct.
Yeah. Did I win anything?
Yeah, United Arab Emirates. You think of Dubai.
Dubai. Oh yeah,
that area.
Beautiful city.
From the pictures, never been there, but I may get the opportunity now.
Yeah, if you got an Apple TV, one of the things that comes up as like a screensaver is Dubai, and it's incredible the technology they have. And just to think that started out as a little desert, like nothing, and the guy that had a vision, it turned it into this great.
A vision and piles of oil money. But yeah.
That's it.
It's more than vision.
Yeah, but so anyway, people are probably wondering who Russ Clark is and why we have him on the show. So a little bit about
because
you.
I didn't send you a bio.
Yeah. You didn't.
Behind the scenes.
But a little bit about Russ Clark. You got the Russ Clark Show, which
Correct.
is a radio show that broadcasts on AM 560 every morning?
Sure, every weekday morning.
Every weekday morning, yeah.
Uh-huh.
From 6 to 8.
Well, 6 to 8.
6 to 8, some days.
And I help out with the 8 to 9 show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on 6 to 9, but my show's 6 to 8.
Yes, yeah. So, but you do have an extra hour some days, right?
On Thursday.
On Thursday.
And on Thursday, just 3 hours of me, as much as you can stand.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. That's pushing it. But anyway, and then also former county supervisor.
Correct. Chairman of the board for county supervisors. I was on a county supervisor's board for 4 years. Entrepreneur, owned Napa Auto Parts.
Yeah, owned a few of them, right? Correct. 8? Well,
Yeah.
that's a little bit more than a few.
Yeah. Just father, helper, whatever.
All around.
Anything I can do. Right now, just living as a homeless. Whatever.
You're going to ruin it. We haven't got to that part yet. You got to build up to that
Right?
part. That's like but okay, so that's a little bit about your background. But let's start off. Okay, well, I'll just say this, how I know you.
Yes.
Is I was introduced to a former business partner of mine. You had your radio show, and you were crazy enough to let me have a microphone on your show.
Absolutely.
And to me, it's like I loved radio growing up. I thought I had good things to say. Found out some of those things that I had to say weren't so good.
Well, it's all subjective, but we all learn, we all develop, we all move forward from all of those things. So it's all that interaction is positive to me.
And you saw that. That's the thing that I really appreciate about you, that you saw me come in, tattoos, backwards hat, this whole thing that is not fit with a typical conservative.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't
talk radio show.
But I like that as long as you're not dating my daughter. It's fine. I'm good, man.
Well, Russ, I have something to tell you. Just kidding. So, you gave me a microphone and a place to express myself.
Sure.
And to kind of get my views off. And back when I guess when I first started on your show, I'd be more of I had a lot of conservative values that I grew up with.
Sure.
But more of a bleeding heart liberal in the beginning.
But you were obstinate, and I think you were contrarian a little bit, and wanted to be really take me on a little bit, which puts a smile on my face. I just that's kind of fun for me when you want to do that, because you're not really equipped.
No, that's a good thing, is to know that I wasn't equipped, to come with that realization of like having this passion. And
but in your mind, you had it all figured out.
In my mind.
I'm going to nail Russ. I'm going to show him something.
Oh, I was so great in my mind.
Exactly. It was a lot of fun. But we both learned from it.
We did. And you gave me that platform to be able to do what I'm doing here now on this podcast.
Right.
So
which I think is great. I mean, really, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate that, and I spent, it's almost like on and off, but 5 years on the other side of the mic and learning, observing you, seeing how you handle guests, from the guests that I guess comply with the show and that agree, but then the guests that, hey, why isn't Russ hanging up on this guy yet?
Of course.
This guy's just going off and talking bad about you, and they're just this nonsense, and you just gave him a voice.
Well, I like it. I mean, I lean into those. Those are my favorite calls.
Your favorite?
Absolutely. I mean, to call somebody that says, I agree with everything you say, then why are you calling? Just, listen.
Yeah.
But for somebody that has a different viewpoint, or someone that may think of something slightly differently, or have an aggressive, I hate you viewpoint, those are the ones I like to have on to drill down as to why and what's driving that in you. And I'm really legitimately interested in that, because again, that's a moment for everyone listening to help make their decisions on where they go in life and what roads they take. But if we just listen to a single voice or a single direction, we're really not going to get a full picture, and we may end up being led astray.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen, or I've heard people call and have a different viewpoint than the viewpoint of the masses that listen to the show.
Yeah.
And I've seen you even off air when people call or text you and say, oh, that guy was an idiot. And you're like, no, just listen to him.
Yeah.
You got to understand where he came from and why he views it this way.
Yeah, I mean, people's opinions are based on their personal experiences and their personal exposure. I mean, you can be an idiot. I mean, I'm not saying that somebody can't be, but quite often I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're speaking from their personal experience and conviction, and they haven't been exposed to the ideas that maybe we're talking about. And that's okay. And in fact, those are the things we need to talk out and talk through. And it's not that I want to change anybody, but Jonny quite often will give them some information they haven't had that causes them to be exposed to ideas that they want to embrace.
So you give them that chance to be able to embrace it.
Sure, but the first thing we can do for them to be listened to, Jonny, is listen. Mm-hmm. That's a skill that most people step around, is the listening skill.
And let's get to that here in a little bit. So there's a little bit of your background and a little bit of your radio.
Okay.
Okay. And the thing that really struck me was that you weren't always talkative.
No, I was diagnosed as a social hermit by Dr. Helm in 1987 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, I was 7 years old at that time. So
thanks for bringing that up. But corporate Napa, and I was executive in corporate Napa, and for me to be promoted to where I was required a psychological analysis and a predictive index of personality. So they sent me there, and I thought I would trick him because I'm a smart guy. But I couldn't. because he saw right through me that I was a social hermit. I wasn't comfortable in social situations, and I wasn't comfortable outside my own office. I never went to lunch with any of my coworkers or anyone else because I wasn't comfortable at a restaurant. Because I guess the real world scared me a little bit. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Helm, gave me some accolades on my abilities and said, you'll never succeed any further than you are right now because you can't interact or give a speech and do this. And he was right, I couldn't.
So you had these abilities, but you didn't have an outlet for these abilities.
Couldn't communicate them.
Yeah.
I couldn't put them into action as fully as my capabilities could have gone. So I was flying back and I lived in Tampa, Florida at the time. So I was flying back and made a promise to myself I would never turn down a speaking engagement ever again. So when you said, Russ, will you come in? I still stand by that affirmation that I made in 1987.
So
today.
Wow. It's from 1987 to today.
Yeah, when you said, would you come in? I said, I can't turn it down.
Yeah, you did it.
I did.
Right away. You said yes.
It's not a question in my mind. I mean, I made that promise to self right then on the airplane.
That's huge, man. I had no idea about that part of the story.
So now I MC events. I speak at events. I've spoken at the Hilton in Las Vegas in front of 8,000 people.
Wow.
Because I never turned down another speaking engagement. But I knew then it scared me, and I had to get training. So I scrambled to get the information necessary for me to achieve what I just promised myself I would do.
There you go. And those were two huge things. You made an impact in my life two ways, very practical ways. And one, you told me about meditation. You told me about this guy, I think Jose Silva.
See, when you left, I told these guys meditation was crap, but okay, now you're busting me.
But you told me about
Jose Silva.
Yes.
Okay.
You taught yourself the Jose Silva method?
Yeah. That really helped me relax. It helped me because I had huge anxiety. I physically couldn't stand in front of a crowd. I would break out in sweats that would cause me to put my shirt in a dryer. But it was miserable for me. But Jose Silva meditation calmed me down, made me take control of my mind a little bit, and to explore avenues I had never in education and in opportunities.
So how'd you get familiar with his work?
I went to the library, back when the library was more than just a studio, and it was about books and periodicals.
Yeah, before it had cool stuff like this.
So I went to the library researching high blood pressure because my blood pressure was so high they put me on tranquilizers because of my anxiety and my nervousness of being around people. I was at college at the time, married, and I had more pressure and emotion than I could handle in my life. I wasn't equipped. So I went there, and the first thing I did was found out long-term effects, which was kidney failure, stroke, heart attack, and all that by the time you're 40.
So you had this death sentence.
In my well, after I read all that stuff I did, I was like, holy man, I just thought it was a pill. No, it's not good. So I started looking at things to combat without taking, pills, without taking those kind of things. And one thing I read, I saw was the meditation stuff, and then I went and researched, and I ended up with the book with Jose Silva.
Mind Control is
Mind Control was the name of it.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna be able to tell my wife to do things, but
you still can't. No,
it never worked.
Never worked.
No, but it was amazing change in my life at the time, and I was in college at the time. But from the time I started Mind Control and really meditating, I never received less than an A in college. I graduated college with a 3.9, two at National Honor Societies, Alpha Chi and Delta Mu Delta, with a double major. And I did my last 1 year of college in 12 months, 2 years and 12 months. But I had that kind of focus and that kind of ability to start achieving those things.
And would you accredit it to this Jose Silva Mind Control? Okay.
Yes, I do. And it took me, I think it took me about 6 months to get off of the medication I was on. Then I went on a diuretic, which is a typical high blood pressure medicine, and eventually got off of that. I was able to take more control over self.
Okay, so in that self that you were able to take control over, was that also part of your journey into communicating with people, or was this before that?
That was way before that.
Okay, that was way before.
Way before that. Still didn't have a desire to communicate as heavily as I do now, or to give a speech, or to do any of that. I had no desire whatsoever to do that, and I was still fearful of that.
So you were still, there was this little bit of fear that was still
Yeah, the
there.
Jose Silva was more like 1979, 1980. It wasn't until 87, Dr. Helm, because I achieved with that. I was the operations manager of a Fortune 100 company at a very large distribution center in Tampa, Florida. I was doing fine. Never going to be promoted, though. I could run the facilities. I could do all that. I was comfortable in that zone, in that space. Couldn't walk out the door and take that comfort with me.
Wow. So this thing from 1979 or whatever got you to this place in 1987.
And then Helm told me, good, but not great, and you're not going anywhere. And I said, well, then I'm not done.
So then you had to do what you had to do back in 1979 what's the next level?
Next level, 1987, I came back and immediately joined Dale Carnegie classes for speech. Scared to death. Because on the first day of Dale Carnegie class, they told me, you can't graduate this class if you miss more than 3 classes. And there was 13 of them totally, missed more than 3. So I opened up my calendar to figure out which ones I'm going to miss, because there's no way I want to do 13.
So that's your first move.
That's how I felt about it.
Oh, man.
And by the time I was done, I made 13 out of 13. Scared, but I learned a lot. I came back as an assistant, came back as an assistant, and eventually started taking classes to become a Dale Carnegie instructor, and started instructing classes when I was in Denver, Colorado by then.
Mm-hmm. And so let people know a little bit about what Dale Carnegie is. So the book, How to Win Friends.
Well, Win Friends, Influence People, but it's more than that. It's about life skills. It's about living in daytight compartments, overcoming the anxieties, and learning how to formulate life plans and learning how to listen. It isn't about talking, it's listening too, and doing those listening skills. So it really aligned itself very well with what I needed in life and where I was going, but it opened up more doors than the meditation. Mm-hmm. The meditation got me to Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie got me to more doors opened, and the drop of more anxiety. Mm-hmm. But normally I'm a bundle of nerves.
So you took a look at your life at these different pivotal points in your life and said, you know what, I need to move to the next level. Kind of level up a little bit.
I wasn't done with exploring and growing. Yeah, I wasn't at the point where some people get in their lives and they sit on the couch and says, man, I did it.
Like, yay me.
This is it. Well, I'm done. This is it. And now I wish everything stays the same as 1975 or 1945 or 1985. And boy, the world's changed. It's terrible. No, I embrace every change. I embrace every day. And I look forward to everything that goes on. And when I hear people tell me, well, isn't it terrible the way kids are today or the way things are today? And I said, no, it is not. It is not. Mm-hmm. I see nothing but great things and hope and, great admiration for the things coming based on the talent that I see before me.
And you were talking about the Dale Carnegie, and finally I went around and got the audiobook and listened to it, and it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. I haven't been listening.
Correct.
I have not. I've been doing a lot of talking. I think I have these things that I can help people with, but the biggest thing is listening. It really is. It doesn't make sense to my mind at times, but it really is about.
And
listening.
It's not just the absorption of information, but it's the connection. Dale Carnegie tells a story in the book on how there was one lady at a party that he went to a party and they wanted to talk to her. They said, hey, talk to her or whatever. This lady talked for a solid hour, and she was noted for that. That's because she didn't have a lot of people around her. Talked for a complete hour. Dale Carnegie said nearly nothing other than, really? Oh, tell me more. He didn't say anything during that whole hour. And when somebody came back to him and asked the lady about Dale Carnegie, he says, he's the best conversationalist I've ever met.
That's a great story.
Yeah, and so it made a connection with her. As much as anything. Not only did he learn about her and himself, but he made that connection with her. And quite often, we don't listen enough, so we never hear people.
Yeah, we don't know what they need. We kind of almost presume we know what they need, so we'll give them a prescription, but we don't listen.
And when you don't listen, people walk away and they know it. They feel it. They know he never heard me. Mm-hmm. He doesn't see me. He doesn't acknowledge me. And that's a death sentence if you're trying to make business connections or connections within your own business with employees, is to make sure we have those connections in life, because nothing but good things come back from them.
nothing but good things, and you've leveled up. So now in your journey, where did this take you, learning this Dale Carnegie approach to life?
Well, it opened up the doors not only in the business, which was my goal, was the business initially, because I didn't want to disappoint. I wanted the next promotion, and it's what got me moved to Denver, Colorado, bigger facility, actually the largest facility in all of Napa. It was $100 million in business annually, and they let me run that one. But then beyond that, it's friends and family and community, and ended up owning my own business in the long run.
So what year was that? When'd you get your first?
1994.
1994.
Right.
After this journey, you've learned, you've made connections.
Yeah.
You're no longer afraid.
Moved to a brand new town, Yuma, Arizona. Never been here before. Walked in, bought a business, and I knew how to run it. I knew what to do, and we went from a small business. And my best years were a little over $8 million in annual sales. So I put to play everything I knew how, and now that's gone.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But you use these techniques. You leveled up. You took a look at yourself, like what's going to get me to the next level, and you had to be honest with yourself and faced your fears.
Yeah. Yes.
Because people don't.
You're one of the few guys I tell that to, but yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of them.
So, and I think we all do.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm speaking tonight. I have a speaking engagement tonight because somebody asked me to do it, and then I know that you taught me, to take it.
That was my deal. Yeah, that was my deal to force me to be better.
Yeah, and so here it is. It's forcing me to be better. I'm deathly afraid right now. I am nervous about going and speaking.
I
at
think
this
the
event.
people listening should be afraid. But okay.
Yeah, you got a point. But I'm still going to face it. I'm still going to do it because I need to, take it to that next level and improve myself and my abilities.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Not only did you listen and they were good, but it had practical use. You owned a business.
Yeah.
You had income coming in because you took the time to do these things. And a lot of people, seems like intellectual or head knowledge, but no, it's like you put it to earth.
Well, and that was my major, was business and all of that. But the thing that we should be doing professionally is the things that makes us most happy. And I don't care if that's making money, or if it's a librarian, or if it's a volunteer at a shelter for battered women. It doesn't matter. Whatever fulfills us is what we should be after. And that's the important thing is when you wake up in the morning and you're making $1 million a year, or you wake up in the morning and making barely enough to eat. Joy and happiness exists in both of those situations.
Exactly.
There's people that make $1 million a year that commit suicide. Money doesn't bring the happiness. But for me, being in business and doing those things, those were the things that were driving me. And I wanted to care for my family. I wanted to be able to do things for my children, do those things. So yeah, it was a big drive for me. And so I achieved them.
Okay, so let's get to the part where you built it up.
Yeah.
You say you no longer have that business anymore.
No.
That business is gone. The thing that got you up in the morning, the drive, is taken from you.
Well, not really, but kind of, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it was sold, but
explain that. How'd you lose the business?
Well,
if
look,
you want?
I wasn't in the best of places. My kids were leaving home, wonderfully, by the way, doing great. My wife and I were connected at all, just weren't, and I didn't have the drive that I had to make the money, whatever, because for me, I didn't care if I was homeless. I didn't care, and at some point, I overextended the business, probably on things I wouldn't do managerially. I bought additional stores in California, even though there were red flags telling me that. Even though the company that was supporting me said, please buy them, and I did.
But intuition, the spirit.
I lost $1.5
million
right there.
But you did have the red flags.
Yeah, and I did. I ignored them. I wanted to get to California, maybe. Maybe I wanted to get away. It was good to have and I owned my own airplane. I was traveling back and forth. I had an apartment in California as well as a house in Yuma. And I lost $1.5 million. Had to close them down, move it all back. But it was okay. I mean, I figured it out, turned it around, made store of the year again. Even after all that. But Napa Corporate got nervous with me and asked me if I would sell. And I said, sure, if you want me to, because they're the ones that co-signed my business. I can't stay there if they don't want me there. And they didn't want me because they saw that now I was not going to grow so fast. I was going to lick my wounds for a while. So I did. And they paid somebody to buy me, gave them some great deals and all those kind of things. And then told me I owed them a whole bunch of money, which I didn't. And I went through a Chapter 11 just to get them to tell the truth. And they settled, and I didn't have to declare Chapter 7, didn't lose everything, but they settled as long as it's sealed and I can't tell the outcome, which I didn't care about it. I didn't sue them. I didn't do anything. I said, I'm going to do politics. So I ran. The first time I ran, I became county supervisor and loved it.
So in here, I heard a rumor that when you lost the business or when you sold it, however way, that you owned the building and you kind of kept an office there for a little while.
A year.
So you're no longer affiliated with Napa, but you have an office there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Did you?
And that people that you're no longer over would still come to you like, hey, boss, what's going on?
Well, they did, kind of. But I had a contract with the people that bought it. But when I fought Napa and told them that, I'm not going to do this, and I'll do Chapter 11 to get you to go to federal court and tell the truth, he came in and fired me, but I never left.
That's what I'm saying. So you got the pink slip.
I never left.
And you woke up the next morning.
Well, and he continued to pay me.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part.
After I was fired, he paid me.
Oh, yeah. So that's the part I didn't know. I knew you had an office there.
Because look, I understood it, and I think he finally got to a lawyer and understood that I had a contract, and he can't break it because he was upset with that and the other company and whatever. So I pretty much had an office, and he didn't want me to do anything, so I just didn't do anything. I just collected the paycheck.
But did people call you boss?
Yeah.
Or did people still did?
Well, yeah, but I mean, they didn't receive their stuff from me, but I'm friends with everybody there still to this day.
Mm-hmm. And you've made some tremendous influences on people. I see people like Daniel Plaza who learned a lot from you, and that he's able to be successful in what he's doing, and he gives you a lot of credit for why he is and who he is.
Well, there's quite a few of them. I worked with people when I was with Napa, and a lot of people would come to me to say, well, I want to own my own stores. I'd like you to show me, and I'd hire them. Work for me for a couple of years and go out and own their own business. And I would help them develop business skills and show them some things in the industry in order to grow, and then they would go. And we both benefit. I get a great employee for a year that's wanting to learn and dive in and do everything, and they get the skills to move on.
And you weren't afraid of that, because most people are intimidated by that. No. They're like, oh, no, I want you to be my employee for X amount of years.
I'm not afraid of anything. Take everything away from me and give me my pickup truck. I'm okay. And I've proven that this last year. I purposely haven't worked. I've spent a year and a half giving anything away that anybody wants. That I've worked with businesses. I've worked with people. I've worked with whatever. I've given classes. I've given lectures, whatever they want for a whole year and a half. And I'm going to be in business now starting in September. I'm going to start another business finally.
You got a game plan.
I think I'm done with the whole hobo thing.
Mm-hmm. So let's back up a little bit. So in the midst of that, you also gave me a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Correct.
How much of a role did that book play in this, to be able to lose everything? I think it sounds a little bit Eckhart Tolle-ish for me, to be able to be okay with that.
And I think it was Eckhart Tolle as well as the Tao Te Ching, which you gave to me, that I spent a lot of time sanding the floor of an old motorhome, listening to the Tao Te Ching with Natsu about releasing the things that you think that are important in your life, and that the treasures you think you own you.
Yes.
And as far as Eckhart Tolle living in the now is what most people don't experience, because we're so consumed with threads of memories and future things that will happen to make us better, that we don't enjoy the best of things. And the only thing we have on the planet is the moment that we're living.
This moment right here, right now.
That's all we have.
Yes. And then
and as soon as we can learn that and live within that moment, the future takes care of itself.
And naturally, it has to.
Well, that's because you can only plan the future in now.
Right?
You're not going to plan it tomorrow.
No.
You need to plan the future right now. So the Eckhart Tolle thing, I probably listened to that book 10 times.
Wow.
On audio.
The first time you gave it to me, I wasn't in a place to receive it. I tried to read it, and it was really tough,
I know.
And then I ended up getting...
But you can't, it doesn't matter, because then you have the knowledge that it's there. You have the knowledge,
Yes.
and it's going to haunt you.
It did.
Because you needed it.
I needed it. At one point in my life, it saved my life, because I ended up losing a business, losing everything, homeless, had a skateboard, and that was it. And that book...
You were on a destructive path.
I was on a very destructive path. The things that I owned me.
Yeah.
And I was able to turn, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to check this out. And then, it was like manna to my soul. It was exactly what I needed to get through the hard times. And I'm like, I no longer need to worry about the future or what I did in the past. If I make today a better day.
Which is the only thing we have. And we do not fear the future, because everything we have right now is perfect.
There's nothing
And as soon as
wrong.
we understand that, then we don't have to have escapism through drugs, alcohol, or some other event that's going to make us happy, because there's nothing that can be added to the moment right now that's going to exceed the happiness we currently possess.
And that was something you really had to face, because we got onto, you ran for office, you won.
Sure. Uh-huh.
I think actually the business I had at the time, your opponent hired us to do a little bit of work for him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, which was kind of,
It's fine.
yeah.
That's just business.
It's just business. So we actually helped your opponent just a little bit, not much.
I know.
But it was what it, and you were still cool with us, which was like, okay, this guy kind of lives what he preaches.
Well, I don't have enemies.
So you got it. You won.
Yeah.
4 years, right? I think that was a term.
And then I lost.
Then you lost the next one. And I was concerned. I was like, oh no,
gotta jump off a bridge
This
or
is the
something?
one that's going to do it. This is the one that he's going to put a gun to
Well,
his
it
head.
wasn't happy times. It wasn't my favorite, but it was deserved. Let me tell you, I am not a guy that's controlled by anybody, and a lot of the good old boys in Yuma on the Republican side, not a lot of them, just a handful, a few of them, resented that, I guess. Not that I ever did anything against them. I don't hate them either. They put big money into beating me, and then told lies about me, like I was having affairs, which I've never done in my life. I lost my house on the steps of the steps of the courthouse, which has never happened. All those things, and then I was in the paper on the front page about he didn't turn a form in on time or something. Just anything they could do. It was all a lot of dirty tricks, depantsing me and stuff. And I could have still won, but I told you I did not have a great marriage. It had fallen apart. It crumbled. I wasn't paying attention, and it caught me. And then I hired some people to do things that never got done, and I didn't catch it because my head wasn't in it. Maybe I took it too much for granted, whatever. So it was something I deserved to lose.
You don't hear that much when people say, I deserve to lose.
Well, I didn't pay enough attention. I didn't. And it's unfortunate because my community suffers because the guy that won it, Darren Simmons, is an idiot. And I don't say that much, but for him it applies. But
he was just a figurehead that they put into place to...
Well, yeah, they called him and said, would you please do it? He had no idea what was going on. None. And he told me that. When I called him, I said, what are you doing? He says, Russ, they came to me. They said they need me, and I'm going to do it. And I'm sorry, but I promise I won't do anything negative. All he did was negative. Knocked on doors, said that I raised the rates for Far West. I was having affairs with different women, all kinds of stuff. None of it true. And I let it happen. So maybe, there was something in my life that was unbalanced. And my marriage was falling apart, and I refused to see it. I really, and I guess I wasn't in a good place. So it happened. Not that I wanted it to, but I didn't want to win it bad enough, maybe. So the house got sold, everything gone. The wife left.
Yeah, so you lost an election. Your wife leaves.
Yeah, and worse than that, she made me keep the cat.
Oh, that cat.
Yeah, I mean, I was horrible. I can't believe that happened.
Oh, man.
That was the test.
Yeah, that cat is not nice.
Did you do cat yoga?
No.
Nah.
You don't
No.
want to do cat yoga with
This cat does cat angry.
Oh, no.
One of the first time I went to his house, Victoria, he's like, "Oh, pet the cat."
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
do.
like,
I do that
but
to you.
Once he said that, it's like, well, there seems like there's an agenda here. Like if I pet this cat, something's gonna happen.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. Oh, it happens. Like the cat's an angry cat.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it acts nice at first to suck you in.
Yeah.
And then when they look at, and someone will be petting the cat and they'll look at me and say, that cat's not bad. And then it's,
Oh, no.
You turn away. You're like, you kind of, oh yeah, that's fine. No, it's not.
You left hurt.
yeah. She can hit you with her paw like 5 times a second.
Oh, my
Pap, 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 pap.
God.
And she loves it.
Oh,
it makes her happy. So I do it to make the cat happy.
Hey, Johnny, come pet my cat.
I think you said on air something about your wife left you the cat so you can continue to have somebody there that despises you.
Well, that's just it. My life didn't really change. I still come home every evening, and there's somebody home that hates me. So, so everything works out.
Oh man, that's good. Okay, so you sell the house. You had a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Probably, I think I
God.
went there for like a little bit before Christmas, and you had the biggest Christmas tree I've ever seen.
Yeah, 14 foot tall.
Yeah, a huge house.
Yeah.
You had all of I guess what money could buy, at least for your situation. Right?
It was nice. It was over 5,000 square foot and walk-in vaults and 1,700 square foot garage. I mean, it was very nice and set on the hill, so it was good.
So then you go to.
But it's just a possession. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so you lose all of that,
It's all gone.
it's all gone now.
And what didn't lose, I gave a lot away. Whatever it was, I mean, it's just gone. All the furniture for that, everything gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I basically, moved in with a friend, but I lived mostly in a motorhome that is old and needed a lot of work. And I said, I'm going to rehab it.
Yes.
And I am. I'm rehabbing it.
Back to that motorhome. So in the time where I was doing horrible, I wasn't doing good in my life. Your radio show, so I lost my job. I ended up losing a bunch, but I still put my boots on every day, put my pants on, got my shirt on, and I walked to the radio station.
Right.
It gave me like the safe haven. I'd go there 5 a.m,
Yeah.
and then you'd be doing your notes. I'd watch how you put everything together, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be here. I didn't have to wake up in the morning, but I'm going to watch and I'm going to learn from this man, because even though maybe the world might not look like or look at him as like, oh, he has all this, but I still think that you had it going on, because I saw it didn't change you.
It does not.
It didn't change anything.
It doesn't matter.
And people say that, but then people don't really live it. That's what I'm trying to say.
But it's true. And I knew, I mean, the pickup truck, if I had lost the pickup truck and my pair of blue jeans, I would have been in really bad shape. Mm-hmm. But as long as I had those, I have my ability. I can create anything I want to create, Johnny. It doesn't matter. And we still wake up happy in the morning. It doesn't matter.
But you have to choose to wake up happy in the morning. That's like...
I've chosen.
You've chosen to do that. You know?
I'm not angry with anybody or anything, including the people that put me out of office. Doesn't matter. I have no enemies.
You know, and so you got this trailer now, or the mobile home. What is it?
It's a luxury coach.
Luxury coach. And I remember you're like, in the midst of my turmoil, you said, hey, there's something at Fisher's Landing I'm going to go do. Do you want to join along and help out? And we spent a weekend out there and helped out with this fishing event and maybe a cook-off or something.
Yeah, rib cook-off. I emceed a rib cook-off.
Yeah, you emceed this rib cook-off. And
spent a couple days in the luxury coach.
Yeah, and then I crashed on your couch, and you took me around and visited the different people that were out there. And I saw how quick you were able to make friends with these people.
Well, I was in a teaching moment. I wanted to show you something.
You know, people would invite you into their coach. Or
that I never met.
Never met. They're like, just come in, sit down. And you acted like old friends.
Right. They'd hug me, give me a beer. And you were sitting on the couch with your jaw open.
Yeah. Like, how is he doing this?
Right.
But I noticed.
It's observation. It's listening.
It's listening.
I remember the first one we went to was a guy, the dog was barking, screaming. The wife was yelling something outside. The guy was putting a fire together. And you would have walked away.
I would have walked. I wanted to walk away.
I said, these are my best friends right now. Let me show you. And within 10 minutes, we're inside drinking a beer laughing.
Yeah.
And the dog's sitting on your lap, and you're sitting there with your jaw open.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. It was a trip. Like I said, I was going through very dark moments in my life.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, wow, there's something more.
It's listening. I heard everything that man said, and I repeated a lot of it to him, and I understood him. And then he calls his wife out, and then we go inside, and the dog is happy, sitting on your lap, shedding. And we had a beer, and I saw the look on your face, which is what I was trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. The doors can open for you anywhere and everywhere. If we're looking, we're paying attention, we're focused, and it doesn't matter. But we can recreate that anytime, Johnny.
Anytime.
Anywhere.
As soon as you step out of your box, your sphere, and you just go into there,
Right.
You can create it.
Right. And that's salesmanship, connections. It's whatever in personal life, professional life, and everything else that brings happiness and joy not only to the people you're with but to yourself, and that it's always positive. And it also opens doors for sales. It opens doors for connections and truthfulness. And like I said, I'm starting another business in September, and I think I'm more skillful in that now than I've ever been because I've given up the Napa, the house, my marriage of 37 years, which is unfortunate. It's not what I wanted, but it's what happened. Mm-hmm. And this is, so I spent a year and a half of downtime of not working, except the radio. I did the radio only. Everything else, I work for people, and they tried to pay me. I said, I can't receive it. I'm just working.
And I've seen you do a lot of that work for people for free.
I have. I'm doing one right now for a moving company. I've gone in and helped them with governmental billing. They couldn't figure out and do it all. And I put in a tremendous amount of hours. I won't take money.
Yeah, I've seen you write letters.
I'll take
for
a
people.
Handshake.
Yeah,
and that's been it. And I've done that for a year and a half of downtime just to give back. And in September I'll open up a new business, but it'll be a business of honesty, integrity, and truthfulness, and helping people. And it's going to be automotive in nature and repair facilities and things that I don't think is being done in the community. And I don't know how to turn a wrench. It doesn't matter. I will gather those that can.
So here you are in a trailer or a luxury coach.
Luxury coach.
Luxury coach.
That's the way we like to call it.
Yeah, which is it's nice.
It makes the cat happy. And that's imperative.
We're out there. You still MC this event, even though you're going through a hard time.
Yeah.
You're going through some of the same things I'm going through.
Potentially a hard time, but not. I'm still happy, Johnny. It's not that hard.
Oh, so we make it hard.
Yeah, because we focus on the negatives. We don't. When my wife left me, and she says, I'm going to drive to Florida and be with my sister, I said, well, take what you want. And she said, I'm going to take a car. I said, well, let me get tires on it because I don't like those tires for that trip. And I got it all fixed up. And then what she didn't take, a lot of it I gave away.
Mm-hmm. And so now you're living it, and now you're ready to rebuild.
Yeah, from scratch.
From scratch. You still have the radio show, like you said.
Yeah.
Which allows
and I still have the head on my shoulders. I still have the experience of life in me. And I still can help and motivate others and build a business that is going to be good for the community, good for the people that work in with me, and good for our customers.
And you could raise up those future entrepreneurs again.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be helping a lot of people.
And you're going to keep the same theme of, okay, come in if you want to work here a year, learn from me, and then go out and do your thing.
Without question.
Like I said, I know what kind of a place that you have to come from to be able to do that. That's not a place of insecurity.
No.
You don't operate from a place of insecurity.
But I don't have anything to lose, Johnny. I have everything I need, and it's in me. And if we go through life understanding that, we'll be better at everything we do.
So here's the things, right? So I give everybody a little bit of not really prep, but I told them, so you host a conservative talk show. Conservative, I guess it would
go Trump.
Yeah, go Trump. There we go. And then so it's like, yeah, but then I've seen this guy. It doesn't seem like a typical go Trump type of guy. You're a vegetarian, correct? Are you still doing that?
Vegan.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Right?
Hardcore.
Meditate.
Yeah.
You have this whole spiritual side of you.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Don't go telling everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're not like the people that are the meat eaters that are calling up and then damn them Mexicans or whatever. It's like it's like this anomaly. It's like no, but I know Russ off of the air. Like this thing that doesn't make it past the 2 hours of listening time. That kept you able to be able to do the show and press through these hard times and get to this place.
And you think that doesn't fit?
Well, not that it. Okay, yeah, it doesn't fit. It doesn't seem like it fits. Or the fact that, like you said, don't go telling everybody because, you'd have to answer some questions like, what are you doing being a vegan?
Which I really don't want. And I say it on air.
Yeah, you said it on air. Yeah.
But, well, many times. I mean, it's well known. But look, it does fit for this reason. I believe in all of us taking care of ourselves. We can. Like I say, give me my pickup truck, blue jeans, I'm okay. I don't need the government to take care of me. I don't need a church to take care of me. I'll help. I mean, I go to church every Sunday, but I don't need them to take care of me. I'm self-sufficient because I think all of us can achieve that. That doesn't mean that other people don't need help, because I'll help them too. But I believe in small government. I don't want a government to control me, tell me what to do and all that. So hence I'm a small government guy. I don't want government control, and I don't want people enslaved because they have government necessities. Like, I can only make it if I get government handouts. That's enslavement. So yeah, I'm a conservative. I'm proud of it because I think it's completely in line with the way I feel of freedoms. And when we start getting into a government of enslavement, of socialism, of government handouts, then we lose something. And we lose something about ourselves.
There's
a big trade-off. And when government controls us, so no, I carry my gun, and I believe in conservatism and self-reliance and taking care of ourselves. And so yeah, the ideals of conservatism and the ideals of small government and less governmental controls is completely in line with somebody that lives a life of that, where they want to be self-reliant and help others. And helping others is a wonderful thing. But the second our government starts helping others, it's not charity, and then we lose control of it. So when our government starts handing out money, keep in mind they're holding a gun to someone's head to take it from them, to hand it out. That's not charity.
Yeah,
and they do that in the form of taxation. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me so I can give it to someone else. It's not charity.
And I
don't confuse
100%
that.
agree with you.
Charity is when we reach out and help somebody.
Yeah, because like you said, with the gun, that kind of reminds me of Cuba.
Right.
That's
not charity.
That's not charity. And people wear the shirts of Che Guevara, and they think like he's this idealist.
But I'm a big believer of right and wrong, judicial system and blind justice, and the founding fathers that gave that to us, and it's being misused right now. I mean, we have selective outrage, selective judicial systems. We have a power class now in our society, which shouldn't exist, that is exempt from some legal issues, exempt, and it's not looked at. And some people say, well, the ends justifies the means. Well, that is not right in any society. And that is a political, when we have a political force that's leading us, we need to be afraid. Because we should be in control of that political force. We voted them in, we put them in there, not to start creating a bureaucracy that controls us all. And that thing needs to be broke up, and that needs to go away. So yeah, when I see in this last election where the two people running for office were not treated the same at all, then we got huge problems. And it should be obvious to everyone, but we're so wrapped up in our political wins and our political agenda, we're losing our soul. So let's do what's right and treat everyone the same, regardless of their affiliation or what their goals were. And that's the only way we can look ourselves in the mirror and say we did the right thing.
So that's where the two viewpoints align and come together.
Absolutely align. Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you're a vegan but you believe in the government becoming socialist and controlling us all and supporting a politician because they're going to do the right thing, so it doesn't really matter if they cheat, lie, and steal, well crap. Mm-hmm. You're wrong.
That's where you draw the line.
Absolutely. And I'm a vegan, but I still go hunting.
Yeah. So you're not like the PETA vegan, which...
No, I've interviewed the PETA people, from Washington, D.C., that want to control our laws in the state of Arizona. So, of course.
So that's kind of where you draw the line there.
Absolutely.
Because I guess.
But it's not that they don't want to eat meat. They don't want anyone to. It's not that they don't want to wear leather shoes. They don't want anyone to.
Then that's where
they
you
want to
draw the
control
line.
everybody. And you're wrong.
So to you,
look, if it's a good thing, people will follow.
Yes.
You don't need to force it through legislation and spending a lot of money, collecting money under false pretenses, like putting a picture of a sad dog on the screen. Give money to PETA, then take that money to hire high-power lawyers to change the laws of the state of Arizona, so that the farmers can't do what they need to do to raise livestock. Well, that's not what you advertise. You advertise the sad dog. Mm-hmm. You're putting your money into lawyers to change legislation state by state by state to control us because you don't think anybody should eat meat, nobody should wear a belt, nobody should wear leather shoes. Well, that's the control that I'm avoiding every day.
So as a principle...
I don't eat meat because I don't want to, not because you said I can't.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I'm glad you're able to express that here on this platform, and so people can listen and find out, okay, so what's behind the 2 hours, you know,
Yeah.
because I know you don't get a lot of time in those 2 hours to be able to say what's behind there. But I've learned who the man, Russ Clark, is behind those 2 hours. I was fortunate enough for you to kind of take me under your wing and kind of show me why it is that you do what you do.
It's your fault, man. You chose to put up with it, so hang on.
And I'm so
put up the
grateful.
tray table.
You know, it's crazy because I didn't vote for Trump. You know, I was like, who is this lunatic? Like, what are we doing? And
I did.
You know,
And I was Ted Cruz's campaign manager for the county of Yuma.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, I still voted for Trump.
you know, and so here I'm watching how you know Trump and how you're dealing with this, and so I'm like, maybe I'm missing something here. I had to really take a look at myself and the part of me that's for the entitlements, that's for the handouts. I had to like, okay, wait a minute, maybe that's the part that I don't like.
People tell lies about Trump every day. It's the way we become in politics right now, the vitriol of politics. He hates Mexicans. Really, show me something. Hates immigrants. He's got the first immigrant wife in the history of the country that's the president. There's been no first lady that's ever been a naturalized citizen. She's the first. So, yeah, does he hate immigrants? I don't think so. You know, he's raised his kids well. Look how productive, how well they're doing in life. Look at all his businesses. Look how many women he's empowered in his businesses personally as well as within the government. And they say he hates women. Really?
Yeah. So like I said, I had to take those hard looks. And then
take a look at it for what it is. Don't listen to what someone says it is. Look at it. We've got Google. We've got the ability to search everything, and we're not taking the time. We take someone's word for it. Ask the man.
You know, and so I'll do this. I'll bring it down a notch to where, okay, from Trump to you, I've seen your kids do really well.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that. I've seen behind the scenes, and I know what your daughter's up to. I've heard about the stories of your son in the Air Force.
Most of them are true.
Yeah, you know, and how well he's done. And so it's like, okay, I'm tired of rhetoric. I need to see something. I need to see it.
Open your eyes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's going on? You know, and people that support and love the Hillary and Bill and all that stuff, look at what they've really done. It's scary. You know, they make up stories about Trump that aren't true. But the reality of the Clintons is absolutely frightening.
And, you know, and I'll give some room there. There is, you know, I don't want to go too political, but
no,
you know,
I don't need to. Just research it.
Because my thing is like, okay, as much as I love Trump is going to be as much as I love Obama, because to me they're all one. We're all one human beings, one human race. To me it's like, I can't knock either.
I can.
I know you can because you have a show.
But not on them as persons and not personally, but just on what their policies. And that's it. It's not personal. And when people used to call me when Obama was president and they say he's not my president, I say yes he is. Yeah, because I don't want to go there with that. You know, I don't want any personal attacks or none of that. It's about the policies. You know, and what he did to open up the borders to get 60,000 kids to scream out across our borders because he basically announced to the world we're not going to do anything for, you know, we'll let them in. Well, all of a sudden we got, you know, 10-year-olds riding on top of trains across rugged country, threatening their, you know, with risking their lives to get to the border.
Yeah, and I have seen some of that, and I've seen the kids lose their legs and
it's terrible. There's 500 deaths a year on the border, people crossing, and Obama let the world know the borders were open.
Yeah,
Trump's letting the world know they're not. And the world is trashing him over it because we're protecting our country. Look, we have a legal immigration system, and it's wonderful. I think it's great. But when we have rules and regulations and laws, and if they're not followed, there should be a price to pay. And if they're wrong, we should be fixing them. It's not like, well, we're not going to support these laws, but we'll support these laws. That's not what we're about as a country, but that's what we've become, selectively, selective prosecution. Like, we can't change the laws, so Obama dictated we're not going to enforce them. And Trump says, no, if it's the law, we'll put it back. And then, well, when it was child separations, which happened since 1997 from the Supreme Court Flores support, agreement, whatever they had, which was the ruling that's still enforced today. I mean, everybody's done it, but all of a sudden it's Trump that started it, which is never true. Fake news. Trump has said, look, I'll do politically, I mean, the power of the president to say, we're going to undo it right now. But I'm going to kick it back to the legislature to do it right. Let you guys get together and make a law, which is the way our country works. We're not a dictatorship. And Obama turned that with executive order on its head.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of that. So
Because he just started doing executive orders
And
because he
executive
couldn't
orders,
get it done through the legislature. It's a wrong way of the country to get things
and
done.
definitely
'cause
Trump has taken the harder way to do it. I would admit that.
He's undone a lot of executive orders to free up a lot of the regulations that Obama just dictated and said put it to the legislature. The kids, the dreamers,
the Dream Act, yeah.
Whatever that Obama just put into executive order, which executive order can be undone. He says, okay, I'm going to undo it in 6 months. You got 6 months in the legislature to do what you think is right.
Which is good. And so let's
the right
get back,
thing to do.
Let's get back to the principle of it. So then you see a guy that takes charge of his life and the things around him, and that appeals to you because you've done the same.
I like it in that he's not dictating to people what they should or shouldn't do. He's kicking it back to the legislature, which is our duly elected
Which is the
body
process.
that should be taking care of it.
Okay. So
He's not becoming emperor.
So then there is a little bit of a background of why you'll be Trump on the radio show if people choose to listen.
Right. And believe me, we all make mistakes, including him at times. There's things I don't agree with. But the direction he's headed for the economy, the direction he's headed, handling money and giving opportunity. And our country's about opportunity. It's not about guaranteed results. It's about opportunity. When he's supporting those guarantees, he's got my support.
So, okay, that's it's pretty deep for a little, a little bit. It got deep in this room, but okay. So now, where are you at in life? You're going to start this new business.
Yeah.
You got some plans. You got some goals. You want to get a home again?
I'm not anxious, but look, I don't know if you know this, Johnny, but I have a young lady that we want to be married.
Yeah, I met her. She works at the radio station.
She used to.
Oh, she used to. She doesn't work anymore. Okay.
No. And look, I didn't know if I'd be alone the rest of my life because I'm tough to live with, dude. I'm not easy. And maybe that's the way I go. But I actually prayed that someday that I would meet somebody that we could fulfill each other. And that's one day when Nellie just kissed me, and I realized, and it's not who I was looking for. I mean, she's like the opposite of what I was looking for. I mean, but it was what it was thrown right at me, and it's a beautiful thing. But she's of Mexican descent. She's not a citizen of the United States. There's so many. I mean, she's got like really cropped short hair. Nothing I would ever envision or picture in my life.
Or me, I wouldn't envision or picture this for your life.
And it was exactly what I needed, and I don't know why. And she needed me just as desperately. And I'm exactly the opposite. I mean, she's almost afraid, I think, to show me to her family. So we don't know where life is going to go, but we have our eyes open.
Okay.
And paying attention. And when we pray and ask for something, keep your eyes open for what it's going to be. And I didn't know. I did not know. In fact, the day after I met her, for more than just a radio, passing in the hallways, I called my pastor and said, we need to talk. And within 2 days, we spent 3 hours together because I'm totally confused, Pastor. This is not what I had in mind.
So in 10 years, if we were able to have this conversation, where would you like to be in 10 years?
In 10 years, I want to be back to financial security, which I'm not insecure emotionally, but financially, the things I built are depleted. So I'd like to be back so that the people around me are secure and that we can enjoy some of the things in life and not have that to hamper us from traveling to whatever we want to do or being able to do the things. But I don't want a big house again. I don't want assets that control me again. I want simplification, very easy to manage and very easy to live, and the freedom to jump in the luxury coach, turn the key, and wind up wherever I want to go, but yet build a business and train people and work with people, and I think that's fulfilling for me.
Are you still doing the radio show in 10 years?
Yeah.
Still doing it, huh?
I still think so. And look, it's never anything to make money for me because I was never going to go to a big market. I was never going to look for things. Face it, we're in Yuma, and it's not going to pay enough to make you rich and famous by any means. But it's always an outlet for me that I enjoy, an outlet that I like to give back to the community, to put a voice out there that will accept all other voices and pass out information that may not be covered in other venues.
That's awesome. I've seen it. I've seen the life. So I could be one that attests to you putting the effort in and actually practicing what you preach. So I'll say that right now on air. It's going out. I've seen you practice what you preach, which is very rare.
Yeah.
It's hard to find somebody, and that's why I stuck around. That's why I'd get up 4 a.m. and get dressed and be there at 5 a.m. to see, like, okay, what's different about this guy? Why I need to figure this out, because I didn't have those role models.
Have you figured it out yet?
I'm still learning, which is cool.
Because help me.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
But I think it's part of the being in the now, and you take it one day at a time, and one step, and then
It is. Johnny, I'm happy right now being in this room with you, and that's all that matters to me. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do after, or what happened yesterday, or did I make that payment? Is everything right? That usually clutters our lives. I'm living right now. And there's nothing lacking.
I remember one of the things that was pretty cool. I think we're going on a trip to get your son's vehicle, and from Tucson,
okay,
Shelby, right?
Yeah.
And you went to your backpack, and you just pulled out like wads and wads of cash. It was like hundreds and stuff, and you're like, oh, I just stick it there. I just have money, and so it's like, what am I doing wrong where I don't have that money, What?
It doesn't mean anything.
But and then so I'm watching, and then now if you go into my backpack, I have money in there.
You do?
Yeah, surprising. I'm like, but so that was like something for me to aim for. It really was. It was like, this guy has excess cash, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm always losing.
Well, most people spend everything they have plus $1.
And then we went on the trip, and then we were buying something at the thing, and you're like, why are you buying that?
Yeah.
You need to buy that?
I was all over you, because I was like, man, I know you don't have a job. You're worried about money, and you walk into a Circle K and get like beef jerky and a $2 Coke,
Yeah.
and then some mineral water, and you come back in. I'm like, who are you?
Exactly.
What are you doing? I go out to the spigot outside and get the hose and drink a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm like, that trip was like an eye-opening trip for me. I got to tell you. And even the next morning, when where it's like, no, we came here for a purpose. We need to be about this purpose.
Oh, I was mad at you.
Yeah.
I don't get mad. I wasn't mad. I was concerned, and your head was in the clouds.
My head was in the clouds, and
I flipped you the keys to somebody. I said, drive home. I need you no longer.
Yeah. You're like, if we're not doing this, and then I needed that. And that kind of like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Where am I at? Where's my head at? I came here for him. And then after that, moving all the stuff and then getting everything, I'm like,
we
I get
loaded
it
a
with this sense of
25-foot
purpose.
trailer, a 25-foot box U-Haul in like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And I told you we could get it done.
You were the move master playing Tetris with all these boxes. And, and it's like, but I did it with the sense of purpose after that talk. So I appreciate you doing that, kind of going out where people don't normally go, or people think like, well, I can't say this to him. You're like, no, I brought him here. If he's not going to do what I asked as a friend, here's the keys.
I said, get out. I'll go find a man that can do the job.
Yeah. And I needed that. I seriously, and I needed that. And then ever since that day, I viewed life different.
Well, good.
I really did. And it did something in me. So and now I could say I have the cash in my backpack just the same way.
So you're not buying the beef jerky, the mineral water, and the soda when you...
No, I'm not.
Okay.
And so it's little moments like that help influence me, and that's what I want to do for people, and that's why I'm speaking at this event tonight, and I didn't turn it down despite my anxieties, despite my things that I have to face.
That's how you overcome them and realize that they're just internal, and there's no need for them to exist. But they're going to. I mean, it's human nature. You're going to. But you'll find them dissipate so much faster because you're developing that confidence, and little by little, that confidence will get them to be almost non-existent.
It's Joe Campbell talks about the hero's journey and finding your bliss, and he would say, like, once you face the dragon starts to shrink.
Right.
This thing that was this fire-breathing monster that was always there, and you were afraid to face it.
Because we keep giving importance to things we think they can hurt us that never could. We only hurt ourselves. Those things don't really exist.
But in our heads, we think they do.
Correct. We're convinced. And it's been enlightening for me with Nellie and my newfound love, because she has a different life and grew up in a different cultural atmosphere, and things that I take for granted and say, well, we'll just do this. And she said, that can't be done. And it was interesting to me because her belief system was so strong. It overpowered reality in my mind. But it's only taken her a few months, and she has a different outlook because I proved it. Much like I did with that couple out in Martinez Lake when I said, let me show you. It took me, she was a harder to learn. She was more ingrained to say no. But little by little, her mind is opening to the possibilities of what can, instead of the understanding based on her experience that nothing can. That I'm relegated to what is, and the what is. And
Always will be.
But we don't realize that we're carrying that in our minds. It's not reality. It's our minds.
Change your mind, change your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not easy to do because it's imprinted and ingrained, but it's possible once you have the knowledge on how to do it.
That's awesome, man. I really want to thank you for taking this challenge, or just saying yes immediately. The text came right back, rapid fire. Yeah, you were going to
No
do
choice.
it. You know, and so I appreciate you getting up on the Saturday morning
Anytime.
and doing this for us. It's been great to be able to be on the other side and ask you questions I've always wanted to ask, and to be able to have this interaction.
Now I got to tell you, right before we started, you said, is there anything taboo, off limit? Nothing. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have no secrets. I'm completely wide open. So
You proved it. You proved it today. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty. I wish you the best in your new business. I hope to see it thrive and you turn out more entrepreneurs and people that want to make the best out of their lives. So,
well, thank you for having me, John. I appreciate it.
thank you for coming on. And everybody, if you can, subscribe to us. Leave us a rating. 5 stars is always great. I like those when they come up. But I appreciate everybody that makes this podcast happen. And thank you. Have a great day.